Taylor, I feel like we have very different outfits on. I've got like the smallest tank top, and you have a very cozy sweatshirt.
Yeah, it's actually too warm to be wearing this sweatshirt, but um yeah, I don't know, I've been wearing it all day, but it has not been cold out. So
We are having our hottest day of the year, I think they said
mm.
so far. Yeah.
We had that like last week. It went up to like 87 or 90 almost. So
I don't know what we actually hit today. I don't know where we ended up.
yeah, it's been like 70. It's been actually very beautiful out.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. Okay, well, give a few minutes. For the last call, usually we have a decent number of people join, so um, up Olivia, Stephanie. You're muted.
Thank you. Erin, are you outside?
Yeah, because it's so warm and it's pretty cloudy. So it's the not like direct sun right now, so it can't be outside.
Mm,
And I don't have to demo anything today, so
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is way too hot for me outside right now. It's supposed to be hotter tomorrow.
Yeah. If I didn't have a presentation, I would sit outside right now. On my hammock. Okay, well, yeah, we definitely. I don't know how many people RSVP'd actually. Let's look.
10.
All right. So not too many for final call, but I feel like once summer hits, it's kind of hard to gauge. I feel like Zoom calls kind of get, you know, less people join. So
You got all the kids home, school's done.
yeah, nice out. People want to go do stuff outside. So
Yeah.
well, hopefully some people read it that did join.
I think I'm like
Summer so
60% of the way through. So
yeah, I did not finish it.
I've got a lot of stories in my mind, which I should probably go get my book because it's gonna be easier for me to flip through it.
Yeah, I actually thought about that. I think I'm gonna do that too. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay, kind of bad timing, but people are picking up furniture from my living room during this call. I do not need to help, but there might be stuff happening behind me. So I will probably just turn my camera off during that so it's not distracting. A few more people. This book is, I feel like, going to be tricky to talk about. This is the first time we're doing a short story book for the so long. So we kind of really weren't sure how to discuss this book, to be honest. So we gathered some questions. It's kind of just going to be open, you know, open combo. You can, I don't know, open-ended questions. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, it's okay. All right.
The book store that me and Taylor, let me turn this off. You're just gonna see a bunch of mess in the background. Video settings, turn off blur. How do I do that?
Okay. Wait, you
Not
guys
blur,
can see my.
the plants.
So you go to choose background.
Why can't I see my
Apparently
screen?
this is too hard for me. A background. There we go. Okay, virtual backgrounds. None. Okay. This bookstore that me and Taylor went to in, oh, it's still kind of blurry. Chicago has the coolest like little business card type bookmark thing. It's blurring and I hate it. There we go. But it looks like a little like event movie concert ticket.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I've been using it as my bookmark. So yeah. I like that so much.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, plants back.
Yeah, Olivia, do you want to kind of run the agenda and stuff while they grab everything out of this room because it's really distracting for me.
Like do the presentation?
Like, yeah, like the first few sides of
Yeah.
I just don't you guys can't hear anything, right? Like talking in the background.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna stop.
Let me do this.
Sorry about this, guys. It's very unfortunate. I mean,
Oh wait, are you presenting it? You don't want me to present it?
yeah, I can stop sharing my screen if you want to share yours.
I have so many things open on my computer.
Okay, well, we can just keep doing my screen. I just don't want to have my audio being distracting.
All right.
Okay.
Welcome everyone to the final call of the Alight Mystery Quilts Sew Along, and also the book club of Never Whistle at Night. Welcome. This, Erin, do you want to speak on your experience while we're right at the beginning, your experience of watching all of your mystery quilt pattern quilts come to life?
Yeah, I think, well, first of all, like big thank you to everybody for, you know, I don't take for granted that you place a lot of trust in Toad Circle to bring you quilt patterns that you're going to love. But it is a huge leap of faith, I think, for you all to participate in this. So I am just very thankful that that you all let me kind of take the reins on the design this time. And I'm so glad that you all loved it. I think that you have put together and built a really warm and welcoming community that is so much more fun to participate in than anything I've experienced on any other like social media. So it's like the amount of great conversation and supportive members and feedback and input that you all share with each other is just really fun to be a part of. And I haven't experienced anything like that with one of my quilt designs before. So just very thankful for the experience and thankful for the trust that you showed me in these past 8 weeks.
Well, we definitely enjoyed watching it come to life. I know me and Taylor, it's so fun to go into each sew along saying like, man, I wish I could actually experience it as a mystery, but I think it's even more fun to watch everyone experience it as a mystery and like build the pieces, watch it come together and all that. So I think I might just stay on this side of things if I can. Yeah, it was fun to have you. I'm glad that you were the guest designer of this so long.
Also, I'm obsessed with looking at your hand quilting on this.
Yeah.
I had so much fun. I had
It's
so
so
much.
beautiful.
I finally got to take this to my quilt guild last week. Because I found out, actually, I don't know if Sheila's on, but Sheila is actually in my quilt guild. Um, and luckily she is part of the cheater club. But when we had our maybe like past 2 meetings, I thought maybe I can bring my quilt and show it. But no, it's the design hasn't been revealed yet. I'll keep it under wraps. And it turns out she was in the guild, and she might have seen it had I brought it. So I got to show it off this past week and just had some really warm like reception to the hand quilting. I think one of the things I said about it was I think it would have been very easy and beautiful to do some quilting that kind of, echoed the lines and shapes of the patchwork. But I think the motif and the colors just really had me thinking about a landscape and a place. And so I had actually drawn out a couple different designs. I think I started out with maybe like mountains and a sunset in the background. Um, and then I wanted to bring in a little more organic lines and shapes because the quilt top is there are so many straight lines to it, and eventually through a couple different versions, all of these cacti popped out with the kind of like wind at the top, which was really fun. It was really fun to add like another story to the quilt top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You should definitely submit to QuiltCon.
And then if it's voted best hand quilting, it'll hang off of the wall and then you can see from both sides.
Yeah,
Mm,
true.
yeah, that's true.
We aim high. We aim high.
Love it.
Are you wanting to continue on or you want me to keep going? Taylor? Me. Okay. Our agenda. We are going to go over the book that we read for book club, Never Whistle at Night. It's an anthology of a bunch of short stories. If by chance you didn't even pick it up, there's a bunch of short stories in here, which is way different than what we were used to. And then we're going to go through a show and tell of photos that were both submitted and posted in Discord of all of the finished quilts, or almost finished quilts. And then hit on some extra stuff. So hints on the next pattern and updates on stickers for Toad Circle, and then some partner discounts at the very end. Now, feel free to unmute yourself and talk. It is okay. You don't have to raise your hand. What did everyone think if they read it or experienced it in any capacity? The book, Never Whistle at Night.
This book might almost be good because even if you didn't finish it, you can still participate in the conversation, which is where I'm at.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people might be there with me. So
I got halfway, like almost exactly halfway.
yeah.
Gotcha.
But I mean, I can add some like details. Is that I personally, ever since like middle school when we first got introduced to short stories, have loved them. I like that it's like open close, you can just get this whole world in just a few pages. And then like certain short stories from my childhood like have stuck with me, like The Pearl, or that other that story where it's like the husband sells his cufflinks and the woman, the like wife sells her mirror or something. It's like they both sold their like prized possessions, not knowing that like they both needed them in the end, whatever. So I just really love a short story because it's just so compact. And I feel like this is actually like kind of a great way to do a book club, especially in like the summer right now when everyone's like super busy, they're traveling, school, end of school years too, that it's just like, no matter, even if you only got through 5 stories, you got an idea of what this book was giving you. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I really like, I like and don't like the idea of short stories, mainly because there are some in here that I really, really liked, and I was like, I just want it to continue. But I also appreciate the fact that like the message and the story can be so short and make me feel that way. So that means that it's a good thing. And then also the ones that aren't so great, you're not stuck in a whole book for the entire so long with it, and you can just quickly push through and get to another good.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like sometimes it was hard for me to pick it up because I had no idea what I was like getting myself into almost. Whereas like if you're in the middle of a book, you kind of know what's happening in the book. So like you're like, all right, I'm gonna immerse myself in this story. And then for me, just be like, oh God, I have no idea what the characters are gonna be every single time you pick it up. It's definitely an adjustment. I've never actually read a short story book like this, but it is a fun time though. So
Yeah.
stories are weird. I mean, a little funky.
Okay. Well, then I guess we can move on to our first question if you want.
Yeah. I mean, I guess usually we ask what we rated it now. I don't know if we can
Yeah.
do like a poll in the comments. But it's kind of hard to rate a book like this, in my opinion. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel hard reading it because I'm not all the way through it.
yeah.
That's my thing. I think at my current like 60% through, I would probably give it like 4.5 stars, because
Yeah.
the one before the one I'm on now, I completely skipped that one because I was listening to the audiobook and I just could not. I could not absorb that story that they were trying to tell me in the way they wanted me to absorb it, and I just moved on.
There was
Yeah.
one like kind of earlier in the book too that I was like, I was reading it, but I felt like I was just skimming the words. I was like, I don't know what's happening right
Yeah.
That's kind of what happened with the very first story to me. I think there was just an adjustment to the book. I was like, what is this book?
Yeah.
I liked the first one
Yeah.
because of the female rage. I kind of liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. And so that actually, of the ones that I've read so far, is I wrote down about 3 of them, and I liked that one.
I like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what my favorite one was.
We definitely have a slide on this, so you
Okay,
can
I'll
take
see.
some
Okay.
time and find it.
All right. Yeah, that's a good idea. I meant to write these down like as I was doing it. Okay. Yeah, let's skip the rating part. Okay, the anthology opens with the idea that whistling at night can summon evil. How does this concept resonate across the various stories? Which interpretation or version of the warning felt most impactful for you?
Is there a short story? I mean, because I'm not all the way through, that is addresses Never Whistle at Night, what that brings forth? Okay.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
want to jump to that one, it's
Yeah.
behind Colin's eyes.
Oh, okay.
It's like right in the middle almost.
Okay.
I read that just yesterday. I was like, oh, finally, I got to the one that tells us
Yeah.
this.
You know, some
Okay.
of them I was looking for the mythological. I wanted a lot more of the mythology of the native. I wanted that through. I was excited about that. I was thinking like school and anthologies and things like that. And not all of them had that. They just had, you know, I called it squishy. I had to put it down for a little while because it just all this had like a lot of squishy, and I'm like,
Yeah.
But I haven't gotten all the way through, so you know everything I say could be, you know, come more on the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think more than the whistling part of that, it's more of the like the idea that nighttime comes up a lot, which you would think, of course, scary stories, nighttime, whatever. But yeah, I think that was the part to me that felt like kind of touched a little bit on everything. Like there were obviously some like stories that were definitely during the day type of things, but like they all felt like everything was happening at night. And I think it was just the setting of the whole like never whistle at night type of
Yeah.
term.
Yeah, it's kind of like nothing good happens after midnight type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that would be our version of that.
Yeah. I mean, one of the first stories, like one of the, let's see, what was the name of this? think it's the third
Nava-
one,
Navajos don't wear LT.
maybe, or maybe it's the second one, whichever one it is, where the girl was working for the man who was very racist, and he ended up taking her to work at night to like his cabin or something, and
What's the second one?
that thing came
I think the
in.
first one.
That's the first one.
Mhm.
Okay, the first one. Okay.
Oh,
That one, I feel like that was a really good one to start out on.
I so
yeah.
Because and then like the way it ended was such an accepting, like an understanding of, oh, that wasn't you, that was whatever this thing was that exists in these woods right now. That was a really creepy way to start it. I appreciated that being the first one.
Yeah, I wonder how they went through and organized the order of these. 'Cause
Yeah.
it definitely, I'm assuming, was intentional.
And the first one also set you up to understand that it's not just telling native folk stories. It's telling them from a
Yeah.
modern perspective
mhm.
Yeah.
and how they
Yeah.
fit into the modern like view. So it's just like that opened up it like perfectly just said like gave the right language to understand like, oh, we're not in like pre, America colonizing or like
Yeah.
Europe colonizing America. It's like, oh no, this is like today, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like
Mhm.
that.
for sure. Okay. This kind of brings us to the next question. Like it's setting in urban or mythical to enhance the mood or meaning of its stories. Were there any particular settings that stood out to you? I think the one it was like the second one of the like suburbia mom or suburbia
Oh.
woman.
Mhm.
Yeah, that one
That
was
one was good.
kind of surprising that I just wasn't expecting that setting in this
That one
book.
was
I was like,
my
okay,
favorite.
yeah.
White Hills.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then I
that one
took
was
us-
interesting.
That one's
Yeah.
cool.
I would read a whole book on that one. I really
agree.
like that one.
Yeah. That one, that was
Um,
for most of them, I was like, okay with them stopping. That was probably the only one so far that I'm like, oh, this one I need to keep going.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good one.
There was one story close to like what I just read where they're like trying to hike back to their car, and it is like it's nighttime and it's so dark that they can't see anything, and they're trying to make their way through, and like just trying to visualize that because I am not a exist with no lights type of person. Trying to visualize being lost in the woods, completely like pitch black dark, trying to make it in vain back to my car is terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, I've even like ended hikes late where the sun has gone down, but you can still see a little bit, and it's spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even if you
Like-
have like a flashlight, because that
Yeah.
flashlight only like
Yeah,
illuminates exactly what's it's touching, and so like everything else in your periphery, you're like, I have no idea what's there. So that
Yeah.
like, especially if you're someone who hikes a lot, you're like, I get that one.
yeah.
That one
Yeah.
resonates.
And then
Yeah.
that one wasn't the behind Colin's eyes.
That was the one with the snake.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, is
Yeah.
what is it called?
Like the snake.
The
Snakes are born in the dark.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Born in the Dark. I just finished the Hunger, which was set at a university,
Oh.
more modern. I thought that was kind of interesting as far, saying that it's modernized, and I was reading it and I was like,
Oh.
oh no, it's a thing that possesses the frat boy.
Yes. Mhm.
And I'm of course going to hunt the girl, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want
Yeah.
that. This story on campus, and she leaves, but then she flips it on him, and she uses, all of her medicine and protections of sage and cedar and all that. I'm like, okay, I like that. It's twisted,
Yeah.
but but modern setting where we're all like, oh gosh, what's the story? How's this gonna go? It never goes well for the
Yeah.
girl, but I liked that twist
Right.
of it.
I know it wasn't meant to be funny, but that one was funny to me because I kept trying to imagine from everyone's point of view what this person trying to act like a human was acting like. And I know it probably wasn't normal. It was probably very obvious that something had taken over this
But it
guy.
was a frat boy, so I mean,
I'm just trying to imagine something like possessing a human and then trying to pretend to be a human. Yeah.
Okay, which story unsettled you the most and why? How did the author build tension, suspense, and what ingredients would a tale need to truly frighten you? Which story would you say is your favorite? So that's like kind of a 3-in-1. Um, I
so
don't
for
know,
me,
like, oh,
oh,
go ahead.
okay. I wrote down about quantum, some notes about quantum. That was the one where she was testing the bloodlines of the kids, and I just never thought of that
Oh, yeah,
before.
yeah, yeah.
And so that just was something like, okay, I never really thought about that, and it got me really thinking about, the colonization and just kind of diluting a line out. It just opened. I just never thought of something that way. So that, and then of course I fell for the twist, but I'm a sucker for. I fall for everything. So
Yeah, me too.
I
but it's
agree. Like,
oh, okay.
I know there are people who try to like
Horrible.
read into everything and make guesses and stuff, and I'm like, no,
No, it's not
I
me.
like the surprise. I'm not
Yeah.
trying to think too hard.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know. I just like I read and I accept what's on the page, and
Yeah.
then oh,
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that
but
one was interesting.
Yeah,
I thought, yeah, it really made me think about that, the lineage and trying to keep lineage. I thought that was, I don't know, that one really made me think. In a kind of just
I forget how that one ended. What was the twist on?
the twist was the kid was the dog. The kid was being yeah, right. And yes, she was with disdain, and that was hard to handle. But it went to a level that I never even thought. But then she's thinking about, okay, bringing him in and maybe nourishing him after all.
yeah. It took a dark twist, and then it started like the very very tail end was just kind of like, oh wait, I can't do this to my kid. Like she realized,
yeah, she's like
how she was giving preference to the kid with the stronger bloodline.
Right.
And she's like, well, no, it has to be through like tradition that we have to teach him, and even if it's not blood, it's more of like what we teach him instead.
Yeah, I thought that one really made you think a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
So that was one of the ones I appreciated the thinking. And then I liked the hunger because the girl actually fights back and doesn't get killed or raped on a university campus. And I also like the female rage that was within in Kushtuka.
Yeah, that first one, man, that was a great start.
Yeah,
I think unsettling was for sure the snake one, being in the dark and just like getting glimpses of things happening, and terrifying to me. And then my favorite I think it's called Scariest Story Ever.
That's just where I stopped. So that'll be the next one I read.
Yeah, that one I think is good.
And don't be afraid to like talk about it.
It does sort of tell the story, but it stops, and I think the message that it gives is one of my favorites so far that I've read, which is like stop using Native American people for your own gain, even though the dude was Native American. So it was like, you can't just keep using us when it benefits you. And because the whole concept was, I want to participate in this contest to give the scariest story, and whoever has the scariest story gets, I think it was $1,000. And so he went to an elder, his uncle, and was like, hey, tell me the family scary story, because I need to use it to win money. And he told him like about like 75% of it, I'm sure, and then stopped and was like, no, I'm not finishing. And here's why. And basically told him like, you are such a good person for our family that you don't even realize it, and you've strayed so far away that it's time for you to come back and like get back to your roots and understand how important you are. And I like that one. Not scary at all, but very good message.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about the one Hunger that we just talked about, the woman that wrote it really is more of a storyteller, and I think this is the first one that, you know, she, like, maybe I got the wrong one, but one of them hadn't really written before. They were all stories, but wrote it down and put it in this anthology. So I thought that was
nice. Good. Yeah.
I'd probably say my favorite was Before I Go, which is her fiance, the female protagonist, like her fiance commits suicide, is what they tell you at least. And then when she goes to the site, she like stays there a couple nights and ends up getting like encountering this like spooky woman. And it's just like it kind of leaves you thinking, yeah, the mother, and it's kind of leaves you thinking like, did he commit suicide, or was he like entranced and like brought in, and then she falls into like the same kind of trap. That one was really spooky. Highly recommend that one. But yeah, it's like because it's like set in the forest and at night, and she's like, she's getting in her truck to leave, and then she decides to say a second night that she shouldn't have stayed, and you're just like, no, get out of there, kind of thing. The classic like woman in a horror story trope.
Right. Yeah. Oh my god, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably my favorite so far.
As far as the things that need to be in there to frighten me, 100% dark. And that's like stories and movies, and I guess just experiencing life. Pure darkness. And I love a good Skinwalker story. Love Skinwalker stories. So anything that has to do with that, which is why I think there's it's referenced in Scariest Story Ever as, or maybe one of the before or after, that there's like this woman telling these two kids about like the fact that they exist, and they're going to come and like eat people to survive. They like eat humans and stuff. And I was like, this is another one that I could like see myself reading a whole book about. So
I feel like for me, anything like stalker-ish related, there was the one, I think it was the Navajos Don't Wear Elk Teeth. Is that the one? Where he like
That's
starts
like
seeing that like
the boyfriend
creepy
who's just,
guy.
like, yeah.
At the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say
just
I was,
like moved
frightened
in
by it,
after
but
a
it was
couple weeks. I
Yeah.
was like, what?
yeah.
Any situation that like kind of leads to stalker or like someone like that,
Yeah.
I feel like is kind of creepy. Or
I
like
quit
finding
reading
out
it.
that.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I quit reading it, and listening to you guys makes me want to pick it back up again.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be hit or miss for some of them, but I think I've had more hits than misses.
Yeah. After every story, I'm like, oh, interesting. Or like there hasn't been any that I've been like.
I almost feel like after everyone, I have to like put it down for a few minutes just to be like, whoa. And then I pick it back up and I'm like, okay, the next one.
I do appreciate that it doesn't feel like I'm reading the same thing over and over again. And like each one has its own story, its own message, its own setting. Like it doesn't feel like a chapter from the same book written by a different person. Like it's nice.
Yeah. Okay. And then what do you think the anthology is ultimately trying to say about beer, where it comes from, how it's passed down, and what power it holds?
I do think it's very interesting that like even if a human was born in the middle of the woods, didn't have any other humans taking care of it, there are going to be things that humans are innately terrified of. And then there's other things that you are terrified of because people have made you scared of them by stories or experiences or whatever it may be, just interacting with other humans. Because like I can't imagine that you would be, Taylor, scared of stalking stuff if humans did not exist around you. It may be like more animal
Actually,
hunting you.
Well, I am terrified of cougars. I am terrified of cougars.
Cougars?
Bears, fine. Cougars are terrifying. Cougars.
Bears.
You
I'm
never
scared
know
of
they're
bears.
behind. You never know they're there.
Yeah, if you see a cougar, they've already been stalking you for
Yeah.
however long.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
They can
They're
drag
stalkers.
humans up into the tree. And they have, close to my house. Not close to my house, but like 45 minutes away.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, if you didn't know that that's all these facts that I'm sure
that-
you looked up after this happened.
If that wasn't a news article that a woman in North Bend was dragged up a tree.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have looked at it as like any other animal and been like, oh, just a wild animal. I won't get near it. And now you look at it and you're like, oh no. And then you're
Yeah.
flooded with all the facts and knowledge that you have in your head based on what a cougar is and what it can do to you.
Yeah, and it'll attack people on like bikes and stuff. You're not even safe on a bike. So that kind of goes with the same stalking. Like not like even a shark. Bears, are big, goofy. Like you can see them. They're usually scared. Like you can hear or see a bear. Cougars, you can't hear or see. Sharks, swimming, you can't see them. They can see you. They know you're there.
Also, yeah, ocean stuff terrifies me too. I am not
Yeah.
a fan of the open
No.
sea and not being able to touch the ground or see into water. Like anything in the ocean terrifies
If it's your dark,
Same.
it's dark as well.
me. That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pitch black
Yeah.
in that ocean and you don't know what's coming up to touch your little feet.
I was actually at the
Yeah,
beach
no.
today, and there was a pod of dolphins in the water. It was really cool. At
That's
the Jersey
cool.
Shore, so it's not like it was like Florida or something.
I mean, I love the beach, but I feel like I've gotten way more scared of water the older I get.
It's because you have more stories that you read and more articles and more deaths and all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I don't know if we got kind of
Yeah.
I mean, I think like, fear in stories are super important though, because before written language, I mean, people would have to teach people what to stay away from, what to, stay alive. So
Yeah.
obviously without fear, we would just be doing what my husband does, jumping off cliffs or something every weekend.
You saying that makes me think of like you saying that like stories are needed to make sure that like you convey what needs to be stayed away from and like what to avoid, how to protect yourself. And it makes me think of how children are told stories that are obviously lies, but they're stories that will scare them to protect them. So like what comes to
Yes.
mind right now is an episode in Gilmore Girls where she talks about how she told her daughter that the stove were the devil's hands and you're not supposed to go near the devil's hands because he'll get you. And like that's obviously a
funny.
story. It's kind of like this, but it's something to protect her. So it's needed.
My dad would just come up with stories like this that didn't protect me, that would just mess with me.
Oh, same here.
And I just believed them for like he would like go out when it was thundering or when he thought it was gonna thunder and lightning, and he would just go out and put his hands up to the sky. And I would like be like screaming, "Stop!" Don't do it."
My dad would just let you touch it so you learned. It was like, yeah, you'll do it one time and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw
You
this
will
video. Yeah, I saw this video on I don't know, Instagram, something, and this dad was like pretending to be the toddler and like showing the toddler like crawling on the ground. Did you see this? And he pretended to put his finger in the outlet and just like started like pretending to get electrocuted, and then it pans to the toddler who was like terrified. And the top comment was like pretending to be a therapist. It's like, so you have an irrational fear of outlets.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I mean that's the same situation. It's a passing down of fear based on telling a story without words.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that is really accurate though. Like telling your the story to kids that they will relate and understand, and saying instead of just saying don't do this, you're gonna get hurt. Like they don't actually.
Right.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't
Hurt is
believe
like
you.
a
Whatever it
vague
is.
concept, you know.
Yeah.
Like, am I just gonna get a little boo boo, or am I going to die hurt? You know.
Right.
Am I gonna
kind of.
die hurt?
Okay. Does anyone have any scary or folklore stories you'd like to share? Campfire stories that you were told? Top of your head. I can go first. If I'm not a good storyteller, but I have kind of one, I guess. I don't know if anyone's from I guess it's maybe in Maryland, but there's place called Camp Takwa. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. Anyways, it's a big lake. We went camping there every year with all my girlfriends and their dads. And we stayed in little cabins. And my friend's dad would tell the story about the hairy hands. And it sounds ridiculous now as an adult, but basically it was about this prison that was like in the middle of the lake. There wasn't even or maybe there was an island in the middle of the lake, whatever. And there was a prison there, and this guy escaped, and he was like a murderer and everything. He escaped on this big barge, and his hand got stuck on the barge, and it came off. And so the hand floated down to the bottom of the lake, grew hairy, and came alive. And then it came to shore, and it was killing all the cows and the farm animals, and people were going missing. And then at this point, this is when all the girls would be like starting to get scared, because he would be saying, and then he would have like one of the other dads like start scratching on the cabin door, and we would all like scream and run. And it was, yeah. Anyways, that's the story of the hairy hand. So
I can't fully remember it had to do with a hand. It was like two people, like a couple out in the woods and dark, and then they hear something scratching, and they get scared and they leave the woods, and there's a hand on the door. So it was like they like tore off to escape what was getting them, and there was a hand, just the hand on the door. So it's
maybe there's multiple hairy hand stories. So we would always get like hairy hand, like I don't know, just like fake gloves that were like a hairy hand, and hide at places, and then yeah. He told the story much better than I did, but
well, the dark in the woods helps.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, like around a campfire, it's all spooky, you can't see anything.
Well, if you ever do a quilt retreat, you're gonna have to like get the story
perfect the hairy hand story.
Yeah.
I'll wear a hand glove or like a hairy hand glove and like go and tickle everyone's legs.
Yeah.
Some girls would get way more scared than others, and then like some of them were just like didn't care or whatever. But then like the ones that were really scared like would like go inside, but then like I don't know, the dads would just like, and the other girls would just like start scratching on everything and in the middle of the night, and it was just like a whole thing. But I will definitely perfect my hairy hand story. Anything else?
No, that was the last question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that pretty much wraps up our book club chat.
Yeah. I will finish reading this. I feel like every time I start something and it's not finished by the time the book club happens or this meeting happens, then I usually never finish it, but I will finish this one.
Yeah, sure. I agree. This is one I definitely want to finish because it's so easy between like, especially obviously like I don't have a time limit, but it's just like, oh, while I'm like, I just need something quick to read before bed, or it's just like in between other books I'm reading. I just want something like a little brain break.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, just pick it up.
It's kind of nice because like you could pick it up 5 months later and not have to like reread anything.
Mhm.
You're like, oh, so you can
Yeah.
you can take a whole year to read it. Which is cool.
I'll finish it for sure. My daughter had actually heard of the guy that does the introduction. He's being taught at Arizona State in film. So she was studying horror. So I'll read it so I have something to chit chat with her about. But yeah, so it was kind of cool. She'd already heard of him. I thought that was pretty good that they're teaching that already. So
Yeah.
Anna and the Never Whistle at Night Discord channel said that there is a second one coming out next year.
Yes.
oh,
So I guess it's considered a sequel.
With the
but,
same authors.
No, I think it's a new collection.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
completely.
said they had like a bunch of submissions in it. The post she sent like said it was like a bunch
Oh, like some. Oh yeah, I guess.
Mhm.
I wonder if that's what happened with this one. It was submission based.
Maybe.
I think
mean,
so. Maybe. Or they like, I don't know. I think it's like a combination of submissions and like just authors or writers that they know are indigenous and want to contribute, would want to like contribute to something like this.
Got it.
Well, I mean, even that one person that you said had never written before and just like put a story down in writing.
mhm.
Like I wouldn't know that person is an author, so like I wouldn't know to reach out to that person. It makes sense that they put out a call for anyone willing.
Yeah. Impressive.
You can, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've
Taylor,
seen,
you can get your
I've
hairy
seen
hands in the
calls
next.
for anthologies
Yeah.
and for different ones, different subjects like female rage, where like somebody's like, I want to put together an anthology. You want to submit a story, kind of thing. So kind of makes
Yeah.
sense. I would do something similar.
Yeah, I think I need to submit my hairy hand story.
Plus, this cover is just so pretty.
I know. I keep
Yeah.
looking at the cover. I
I
love it.
loved that somebody did a color inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So smart.
So good.
It was honestly the perfect book for the so long though. So
Mhm.
I agree.
Did anyone read any of the other books? Because I thought all four sounded really good.
Firekeeper's Daughter, highly recommend. That was really, really good.
Firekeeper's Daughter is so good.
I think that's the second time I put that on a list.
I actually was
Uh,
thinking you should do like a round where it's all the like second place winners and see
Yeah.
what the top pick of the second places are.
Because I like feel like I keep trying to make the Firekeepers. So, like that has been either on the list or been like trying to be on the list
Yeah.
for a long time now. Like it's
I highly
always up
recommend
there
that
because it
one.
has such good reviews, and I try to find like good review books,
Yeah.
books with good reviews. But that's a good idea though.
That way
I
it's
forget
just like
what-
because it always seems like they're really close at the end between two, and it's just like, oh, it gives
Yeah.
this other close one like a second chance to see if they'll win.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Okay.
read The Horse. It was really good.
Oh yeah, that,
Yeah,
I'm trying
I
to-
thought, yeah, they just all sounded good to me.
yeah. This
Yeah.
was a good selection. I was impressed with my own picking.
I was too.
It's hard work. It's hard to come up with 4 books that like
Yeah.
fit a theme and I think people will like, and so I was like, all right, this is good for. Okay. All right, off to show and tell. We have a lot of good quotes that came out of this round. So Aaron, if you want to join us in the chat, we kind of just show off a quill who made it. If they're in here, you can speak up. There's not too many people in here. So but
I think Catherine's
Catherine,
in here. Yeah.
yeah, Catherine, you're in here. Cute cat, cute quill.
I wonder if it'd be useful to like shout out to the group just to let people know that like we're done with the book talk
Oh, true.
in case people want to like see the show and tell part. I don't know.
Okay, Catherine can't talk.
I love the cats swarming on top of the birds.
Yeah, they're hunting them.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it.
I like this one a lot. I like all the earthy tones, the blues and the greens.
I do
Yeah.
like the pop of blue.
Yeah,
It's very attractive. That was a great little addition of some fun color.
Yeah, it's like a lot of more muted tones, and then there's like a pop of the emerald and the um, bright blue. Love it.
I'm interested to see backing choices for all of these.
Oh yeah, another cute pup or cute
Is
pet on.
is this Susie Quilt's solids?
They
It
look like
looks
it.
like a mix of it. No, well, okay, the yellow does, yes, and then these like
The maroon,
green situations, yes, and then these ones, yes.
like Snapdragon, and I think that's
Yeah,
Snapdragon.
pretty and-
But
Yeah,
that
but
gold
then like
looks speckled.
yeah, this gold speckled, and then also these oranges don't look like Susie. So I think it might be a combination,
And then I think the gray is its own little
like a
addition.
chambray.
But
Yeah.
I
Like
think
a
that
Mm.
that sashing works really well. That was
yeah,
chosen.
I agree. I like the little bit of texture in there.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, fun border we have.
I
This
think
is
this
the
is the
one
one
that, yeah.
that was inspired by the book cover. Yeah.
Yes, I should put the book
Yeah.
cover right there.
Mm-hmm.
She's
I
been
thought she
posting
was
a lot
in
about
this.
this one on Instagram too. She's got some really interesting like stories to share about it.
Oh, I gotta check that out. Not been on my Instagram game at all.
I mean, who wants to be on there?
Avoiding it like
I do appreciate using what looks like scraps to finish out the
yes,
border.
Yeah.
I feel like
it's really fun.
it goes with the vibe of the quilt. So I feel like it works. It's fine.
Kind of mitered corner up there. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
Looks like it.
2 of them
fancy.
for real. Yeah, I'm gonna put the book next to it. And even the shoes match. Look at that.
I know that I feel like I've seen a couple people that have ordered extra fabric for the exterior borders. So just jumping on the like multicolor border, I liked how she used I'm assuming used fabric from her stash or didn't order more fabric to fill out that extra.
Yeah,
That was really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because I forgot that the outer borders are not
I know
included.
I like that look. Sashing on the inside and no borders on the outside. I feel like that lends itself to a more modern aesthetic, and then you can do fun stuff on the borders. I've seen a lot of people match their binding to the color of the patchwork right there.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. That's some good planning.
Yeah, I don't plan my binding well enough to do that.
One of my
Um,
guild members does it often, and she says that she like sews the binding to the quilt front, to the quilt, stops when she needs to change fabric, and then adds more binding on. So she's like building it as she goes. But it sounds more manageable than planning it out, but also can you imagine having to like continue to attach binding all the way around your quilt? Like
Yeah.
no,
binding to more binding.
no, couldn't be me. Okay, this is.
Couldn't be me. Anyways.
Anyways, couldn't be me. Sounds really impressive.
I like like lemonade yellow
neon
cornerstones.
cups.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love that.
it's really fun. I don't think Libby's in here. Is there
Yeah.
people I can't see?
And then
Is that a brown sashing? I like that.
looks like brown, yeah.
Yeah, it looks good with it.
I think it complements it, even though it's like not one of the things that's used in there. I think it still works really well.
Yeah,
It
this
does.
is like full moon's color scheme. I mean, the brown with the.
It almost
top
reminds
of
me of
granite.
like tree branches or something.
Oh.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah.
that. Then another full chaoser. So I'm gonna
I should be
see how. Sheila, are you in here?
Ooh.
So
This
this
one
Sheila,
is awesome.
this is the Sheila in my quilt guild.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we actually had a like a quilt camp retreat a couple weekends ago, before the pattern was revealed. But Sheila's in the tutor club anyway, so that's fine. And so she brought her quilt to work on while we were at the that was
That's
fun.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's so fun. Yeah, this turned out really awesome. And I love seeing it with prints too, because honestly, a lot of times it's hard to visualize. Like I was struggling to visualize what this would look like with a lot of prints.
Mhm.
But it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
And the mountains are beautiful.
Oh
So
my gosh, a great setting. That's gorgeous.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andrea. No, she did a little baby one, which is really cute as well.
A 3-color block with
Yeah.
some sashing. I really like the blue and orange together. I think
Yes.
that was a good choice of sashing and cornerstones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it. I
It
love the
almost makes
subtle
the
blender
blocks feel like
prints.
inset
Yeah.
into the quilt.
With the orange, it also leans it as more like gender neutral too.
Yeah.
Like it takes away from just being
Oh,
like
for
blue,
sure.
you know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It can good fit with anyone. Yeah, it's really cute. Also make a cute wall hanging, which someone did make a wall hanging. Okay, Michelle. Is Michelle in here? Nope. Got a mix of prints and solids. And
It
I
turned
think
out
this one's full
well.
chaos. Yeah.
Yeah,
This one has a border that is more subtle. Or not border, sorry,
Yeah.
sashing that's more subtle. So
You're
it kind
right.
of
Yeah.
blends in with the blocks. Less
Like
like,
that center block, actually.
yeah. The center block, I mean, even these, it's like more low volume. So I
Yeah.
kind of like that. That looks really nice.
I think that bottom left block is my favorite.
Oh,
That
yeah,
combo
this
is
one.
really nice.
Yeah, I think I have used this a bunch when I first started quilting. So it's like nostalgic, this little fabric here. Brings me back.
Mm.
Okay, Aaron K. No.
No, no
Is-
arrows.
Was this a kit? I want to say
It looks like a kit, but I don't know. I don't
I
remember.
don't e- I love it though.
The
Yeah.
This is a solid color scheme.
the
Yeah.
I
control.
like I like the controlled chaos with this one. I feel like it works super well.
Mhm.
It feels very balanced. My eye goes all around the quilt. There's no spots where it's stopping.
Yeah, I think
Beautiful.
that's right. The emphasis on like figuring out the light, medium, and dark values really shines here
Yeah.
because
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
as so much intention was put into those color relationships,
Hmm.
the palette's just stinking beautiful. Like that makes sense.
Yeah. There was one of the tadpoles was asking, or I think a couple were asking about like trying to wrap their head around choosing fabric a couple times. And there was a time that I said, like, there's a lot of talk about light, medium, dark in here. In all seriousness, you literally don't have to follow that. That's fine. But it's said that way in the pattern to make the pattern shine, and this is why. Like this is a good visualization of what it means to shine, essentially.
Yeah. Love it. Okay. Ashley A.
Another outer border and cornerstone situation.
And I really love these cornerstones, like that little retro fabric, the retro flowers. That's
Mhm.
cute. I love
Feels
that.
very fall Halloweeny with all the
Yeah.
orange, purple, black.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another one with some big bold
Oh,
prints. I mean, it's
purple
combinations. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
broom
but
hat, witch's hat, broom hat.
my cauldron hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that sashing. It looks like a little speckled, sparkly
Yeah.
something going on. I think it's
And
really
just
good.
the print in the cornerstones helps carry that purple and orange color through and really makes
Yeah,
sense.
Mm-hmm.
that would also be cool. I don't know if she has fabric for that, but to make that the backing.
Ooh,
So I feel like
yeah.
that'd be such a good backing. Okay, Lori C.
Yes. Mixing it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to say anything, Lori. I don't know if it's here's, but I love the fussy cutting in the center. Cute.
Little rainbows, yeah.
Yeah, that's adorable.
I do
We
like
got
the mix
some.
of prints and solids in this. Like that
Yeah,
bottom left orange block, I think, or I'm sorry, bottom right orange block, I think is really nice of like the solids, and then the bird, like the center bird is like that print.
yeah.
I was really digging into stash here.
Yeah.
And
it
had
works.
some interesting mistakes, right? And so then I think it was Aaron who said, like, if you make a mistake, like then replace all the A's in a given block, or
Yeah.
especially if
Oh,
it was a
okay.
cutting, right? So that's where there's some that get mixed up. The very bottom middle was the oranges, but it wasn't working as well as the other oranges were, even though it was the same three fabrics, it was
Oh,
really having a hard time seeing the bird. And so I redid it with the three other pattern
nice.
prints. Yeah. So it was fun though. It was a quick fix. Luckily it was on
Yeah.
the bottom.
Yeah.
You'd never
Good.
know. It looks super intentional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I used the same ones already in there, so it worked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bottom middle like green block with the
Mhm.
flowers behind the
Oh, sorry.
wings, it makes it
Ah,
look like the wings are like coming out of the, or the flowers are
Yeah.
coming out
yeah.
of the bird as it's flying.
Right. Yeah, that was
That's
one where I
nice.
didn't change all the A's or whatever block
Yeah.
letter that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I
Yeah.
like that one.
Thanks.
Magic
Yeah, because
bird
I
in
feel
you.
like it could have almost worked, like if you were to add like a fourth color
hmm
into a block, like that would be a cool spot to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picturing like a rainbow behind it.
Yeah.
It's like flying away. Yeah, cool.
Thanks.
Okay, Rachel H. Is this Rachel? Or okay, wait, yeah, sorry. I thought this was no, it's a different club I'm talking about. Never mind.
I really like
Ignore me.
the tiny prints throughout. Like
Yes.
it feels
I
like a quilt
yeah,
that you would find like on a cozy couch, like ready to read a book by a window. Like it feels
yeah.
very cozy.
Really like these black
Yeah.
and white blocks.
Yeah, they're super
Yes.
graphic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Ooh, this one might be my favorite though. Or this one. Or I think I like this color
Yeah.
combination. I like or this one or that one.
Yeah, I'm really interested to
Nice.
see what the border or the sashing and cornerstone
Oh
situation
yeah.
will be, or if they opt for not having border
Yeah.
sashing, cornerstones, anything.
I think this is one that I had like a Zoom or a little one-on-one call with. And I remember saying you might want to wait to figure out the sashing. But I feel like it would look good with like this dark color with white in the center or
Mhm.
vice versa as well.
Yeah.
Taylor,
Yeah.
it's so interesting to me the like 3 blocks that you said were gonna be your favorites. One, I think they're all the same like color family, so the
They
organized.
are. Yeah.
And so I was trying to find like a common theme between them. Like, oh, does she like the darkest fabric always in the wing accent or something? But no, each one you chose because it's all in the same color family has.
I think I just like that color scheme.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I don't know. I like a lot of florals, but then it's
The
not
starry,
overwhelming
the
because
dark starry background on the bottom left, and
yeah,
then the white little dainty. I assume those are
yeah.
flowers, little dainty flowers.
What a well designed pattern. Who would have?
Okay, and then here's a wall hanging by Megan. Or is it Megan?
Probably. I get so confused with the pronunciation of Megan's and Megan's.
That's usually Megan, but
Okay. Okay.
I've
Yeah.
also met someone named with this spelling of Megan because obviously I've seen it all.
Yeah.
And they insisted it was Megan. So I can't help
Megan.
you. I can't help you.
Okay,
Interesting.
Megan. Okay. Usually
Yeah.
if I don't know, I just
I would
pretty
just go with
sure-
Megan, honestly.
okay.
I'm pretty sure by chance yours is next. So it's like both Megans are like right next to each other. But I do like this wall hanging. I think it was a really good, it makes a
Yes.
good wall hanging. It makes a good table runner if you're gonna go that route.
It
Like
would make
even
like a
like at
good
the
body pillow.
body pillow, I
I
was gonna say the
also
end of like a bed, like
I
when you have a
love
hotel.
her like quilting that she did on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very
That's, I
like,
feel like how I'd want to quilt the
yeah.
quilt.
Yeah.
If I wasn't gonna do a beautiful motif like Erin made.
Yeah.
Erin's makes me want to hand quilt.
I know.
Me too. I
only
almost want to hand
one-
quilt this pattern, like this style of quilting, like just the really tight squares.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I kind of have a road trip coming up and I have a baby quilt that needs to be based. I'm like, maybe I will bring it and hand quilt it.
It's fun.
That's the only time I've ever been able to hand quilt is like on a road trip or something like that where I'm like forced, like I just have free time to basically do that.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have Megan.
Yeah, so mine was inspired by the Akatar book covers. I went into the fabric store with a different with a different idea, and then the fat quarters that were available just like weren't working for me. And then all of these, like the book covers, I was just like, oh, this one could work, this one could work, and I ended up just going with this one. And then the sashing is the black starry with the gold stars, and it's very like it attaches to the book
Yeah, so
very
well.
well.
Yeah, and like this feels like fire, like the
Yeah,
red and
yeah.
like that's so cool.
And then like the blue, it's like they're like geometric lines that felt like frost. Like, and I was just like, this just worked out really well.
It really does.
And it was just like meant to be like that. But then I was between black and white starry or the golden black. And the white, just like the colors just didn't pop as much with the white sashing. So I went with the black and I'm really happy I did. I was just nervouser with the brown on the orange blocks, but it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
No, I think that was the right move going with the black.
Yeah. But yeah, I really I had fun with this. And obviously I got it done like several weeks in advance because I'm still in New Jersey. So
yeah. I mean even this cornerstones are the same color as like the
words
on the words on the book.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was
that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow, you really thought of it all.
Now what's your good the backing that you use? What is that gonna be?
I just picked up like because the fabric store I go to in Nashville has like a color wall and it's $5 a yard. So I just picked up like a black and white, like it's got like little stars on the back. It's pretty cute.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if this is commonplace in the cheater club, but for folks who aren't in the cheater club, in like our first week of sewing, so what was that, week 3, folks figured out how to put the block together and like had it done that week.
Yeah.
I don't know, how is that particularly common? I mean, this
is the first time we saw people really like finish quilts early.
Yeah.
I would say. Usually
yeah, we don't like give the pattern to cheaters. For anyone that's not in the cheater club, we don't give the pattern to the cheaters. So the people that are saying that they finished it way in advance, that was purely them looking at the way that the quilt looks versus the cutting instructions and the little bit of sewing instruction that they got early on and pieced it all together themselves. So I think it's like partly happened maybe once, but never the full
there were several. Yeah, there were several people that had it like totally done. Like
yeah. I mean, I'm going back to a dirty house because I prioritize this getting done first.
Worth it. Oh wow, this one's very different. This one's like very jewel tone, very soothing to look at. I don't think Ginger's in the chat.
Nice little
I wonder
pickle.
I wonder if they'll go with a sashing or what color sashing.
Sounds interesting. Of the greens and the bluer blues, not the grayer blues, there are 4.
Oh yeah, there's 4. Oh yeah.
And 2 purple and 2 of the grayer blues.
Yeah. I wonder if this
Hmm.
person just bought a bunch of extra fabric and after making the pieces, like the combos, they were like, actually, I love this and I want to do more. I'll
Yeah, or maybe
sacrifice
they
some
did
of
block by
the,
block
yeah, maybe.
and didn't like pre-cut everything.
True.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
interested. We'll have to ask.
Oh,
They
and
are
show
good
them all facing
groups.
one direction
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and not.
They must have waited until a good bit of the pattern was released before they started sewing. I wish
Yeah.
this person was in the call and then we could
Yeah.
ask. Solve this
Sure.
mystery.
Yeah. But you can't even tell, like, it's all very cohesive. Like, you can't tell that there's, like, a different number of
Mhm.
colors. It works really well. Okay, Molly.
I'm pretty
Molly.
sure
Cozy.
you, Molly,
here.
said that you were a beginner doing this.
Yeah, I just well, I think in maybe October I started. So yeah,
And
I'm
it turned out
learning.
great.
I
Yes,
love this block.
Start picking
This
our
block
fingers
is.
again.
I'm sorry. My eyes just immediately drawn to that.
Yeah.
I
Did you pull
definitely
from Stash or is this?
I like went through I had done a quilt that was like overwhelmingly patterned. Like I mixed too many patterns and I went through like a shopping spree basically where I kind of bought some more neutral things. So yeah, I pulled it
Mhm.
out from that. I had like some of it is the Susie quilt is probably most of the solids except for the
Okay,
one
yeah.
blue. And then I think it was Global Fiber Shop, maybe, or Cantoneer, one of the two. I bought a couple bundles and they all just kind of fit together.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm like still deciding about the sashing between like a blue or someone had recommended a dark brown.
My
Mhm.
So I
immediate
don't
thing is
know.
like a cream color. That was like my
Cream.
immediate.
Yeah, I think when
Yeah.
you shared this, you shared a second picture where you were testing out some like jelly roll strips, and I think they
Yeah,
were white, maybe.
they were. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had them.
I
That's
think the
from
cream
my
would.
last quilt I did. I just had a bunch left over. So
Yeah, I think I agree. That cream I feel like would make it
Yeah.
feel like continue to feel very like snuggly and homey and
Yeah. Or like a
okay.
pale yellow, like a really pale yellow. I feel like it would
Okay.
just because I
Cool.
feel like that's the I don't know. Yeah, that was my immediate thing, and then maybe like one of these darker colors as the cornerstones. I feel
Okay.
like would be
Cool.
yeah.
Thank you.
Test it out at least. See
yeah.
what
We
it
do
looks like.
have the full mock-ups links available. So if you I mean it's going to probably be a pain to put in the prints, but you could at least represent them as a solid and then mock up your quilt in solids in your same color and then just pop in different colors for the
Yeah,
sashing and see which one you
or
like.
even just throw a scrap of fabric around,
Yeah.
and
That's
then
kind of
space the
what I've
blocks out.
been. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's hard. It's with this many blocks, I'm just like a little overwhelmed. But once my kids are down, it's a lot easier to like lay them out like this. And
Mhm.
yeah.
um,
You can even just lay
yeah,
out like 6 of them, and
right. Okay, cool.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, well that wraps up the show
Oh
and
wait, there
tell.
were two more that were shared in Discord. So
Okay.
in the chat, this one was shared by Sue
Ooh.
D.
Oh,
And I think
that's
Sue
fine.
might, oh no, they were here, but they left. Unless you still are. But yes, this one was shared. It is in Discord if you want to see a bigger photo or something like that. And then there's this one that was, oh, I don't want to copy the same one. Copy, paste, please paste. Okay, well, it will paste eventually. Ah, there we go. Who knows? There may be a bunch of pictures in. There's also this one with this yellow sachet.
Ooh.
This
Wait, this is
was
the same
Rachel
one with
Kerr.
No, this is the one. Yeah, this is the black. So this is a
Yeah.
finished version of the
The
one.
finished
Okay.
one, yeah.
Okay, so there's been sashing added. Nice.
Oh, I do remember the comment about yellow sashing now. Okay. That actually
Yeah.
works really nicely. It pulls the sunflower print a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like the one really warm color. A nice little pop.
Yeah, it's fun.
I love a pop. Who doesn't love a pop?
I love a pop.
But yeah,
All
that
right.
was the only two that were not part of the slide.
Oh, cool. All right, now moving on to some housekeeping stuff. Your so long stickers have been ordered and they will be shipped out in the next couple weeks.
Toadsters.
So
Toadster
for
members.
Toadsters only, this is what last so longs looked like. So my goal is to have them in this format obviously you see a picture here. And then you can collect them all and they'd be like little badges. My goal is to get labels, but that is a lofty goal because I have to order like 1,000 at a time. And that doesn't compute with the amount of members. So.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a one and done thing because it's like, well, you know, they can't just really
Gotta sit
live
on the
for
stock for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So I would love it to offer labels. I think that'd be so fun, but gotta figure that out. So that will be coming the next couple weeks. And then planning on posting all the past Mr. So Long's stickers on Printful, which is just my website, so you can order them like on demand. But my one gripe about it is it's not going to be the exact same size as these, which as someone that would care about that, I feel like I really care about that. So that is what yeah, if you need to update your address, you should be actually able to do it through your account on the website. Olivia, correct me if I'm wrong.
Worst case, you send us an email and I just make sure that it's in there. Because there's an address that's associated with your membership, and then there's like an account one, and I just want to make sure that whatever address we pulled, they both reflect the same thing. So
yes, because we had an issue last time. I do not put any return postage on this. I just send them out with the stamp. If you don't get them, then you have to email and let me know. And yeah, last time someone had a new address, so I just had to ship a new one out. So it's not a big deal if that happens. I just won't know unless you tell me. It's not coming back to me.
You said they won't be the same size. Will they also not be like kiss cut either? So like there will be a white border?
There won't be a white border. So the problem is I'm going to make the border the same color as like the background. So you won't really tell that there's a border. That's what makes them not the same size. So they will be kiss cut, but there will be like a slight bigger border. But I could potentially order a small quantity and see how many people want like a backlog and go that route. Kind of do like a queue of a form that people, can which stickers that they want, and then I can do like a small order of that. That might be better. And then I can include it with your next one. Because there's a lot of cute ones and
yeah.
Anyways, so okay. Next So Long starts July 22nd. That's the sign up period. If you guys are all members, you don't have to sign up. You don't have to do anything. But new people will start joining, and then we'll start the next So Long July 29th. And I almost just said the guest designer, totally forgetting.
Please do not do that. This is a guest designer again. Do not let Taylor talk. This is a guest designer again. It will be the final one for the year. And this person, the pattern's already written, the cover quilt's already made. We've already seen their quilt.
beautiful. You're gonna love
Beautiful.
it.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh well, we have clues. It has a lot of use of negative space, which is fun because I don't think we've had, besides Arate, I don't think we've had like a really negative space heavy toad circle quilt. So excited to see that. It's very the opposite of Alight. Uh, so I mean, it's just fun. Like that's why having guest designers is so fun because it's like you get, all sorts of different styles. Minimalistic. It's called Trailhead, so has an outdoorsy feel to it. And there's some ombre play, and that's really exciting. And if you've never worked with ombre or that you're uncomfortable with that, then I think we were going to have a lot of fun with that and teaching you guys that, picking out colors. I mean, we worked with a little bit of ombre in this one where we picked like, a dark, medium, and light in the same color family. So we'll kind of expand on that in the next solo.
Yeah. Super excited about that because
it's fat quarter
ombre
friendly?
Yep.
I actually didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. It's fat quarter
That's
friendly.
a fun perk.
There are options in there for you to not use fat quarters. So if you don't have fat quarters and you just have stash fabric, then that requirement is also going to be there too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
the ombre play, I feel like I'm excited for that because I know you enough to know that you're not going to make monochromatic ombres or gradients. You are going to mock up things that they play. If you turn it into a grayscale, it will be a gradient, but they will be different colors. And so it'll still feel the same, but it won't be a dark blue to a light blue.
I do struggle with the monochromatic color schemes, I will say. That is definitely, I like the more colors, the better. So, not the better, but. Okay. Don't forget that there are Toad Circle partners if you go to the Toad Circle discount and partners page. So discounts on long arming, discounts on fabrics, and all sorts of things. So it's always a gentle reminder to check those out and see what deals you can get on long arming if you plan on sending yours out. Oh, and then Erin, would you like to take over for this?
So just if you liked my design sensibilities, if you kind of liked the instructions in the quilt pattern, here is one way that you can continue to be involved with Miha Handmade. I am in the middle of a block of the month this year that before the spooky season even starts, we will have completed the quilt top that you see in front of you.
It's so cute.
It's full of little critters. I think kind of similar vibes to the there's a motorcycle. Sorry, similar vibes to the Alight quilt. An object. We'll use a lot of flip and stitch in all of these blocks. So while they might look heavily pieced, it's a method that's pretty straightforward. And if you want to join, here's a little discount code for you.
Yay! Thanks for offering that. We will put that also in the discount channel.
I was gonna make sure that it's in everyone's portal too, so that way
that as well.
It'll live there until the end of this so long period, the end of July. Yeah. So if you miss this, it'll always be there.
Yeah. Super cute. Yes, this looks really fun. Okay, and then Olivia, do you want to take over on this?
So this company, Storyteller Stitchery, Storytelly would be even better. But we ran into them at a market type convention thing, and they do like embroidery type cross stitch type kits. They make all of their fibers, but they base a lot of their brand. Yes, they hand dye a lot of their fibers. They base their brand around books. So they'll have fibers that are dyed specific to book covers, and they have kits that are around books, and like they have a membership that You can say like you like fiber-based things and you like embroidery, you like cross stitch, whatever it is, and each month they will send you some fiber, some string threads, and they are all based around whatever book it is for the month. So this one would have been interesting with all the colors.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, they pick a book, they dye the fibers, and then they send you the bundle in their membership. But they also have other stuff, so you can use Toad Circle to get 10% off of their website, and that also includes the membership if you want to join that.
Yeah, and they're also our part of our grand prize. So you will get one of their kits, and this is an example of their like what's it called? It's
Floss.
I don't know what to call it.
Embroidery.
Because it feels
but it's not
thicker.
embroidery, it's like yarn.
Yeah, it feels like a mix between floss and yarn. So like if you've ever struggled with or experienced having cross stitch kits or whatever it is, and you're doing your X's and you still see the mat underneath, I don't think you would have an issue with this because the thread is so thick.
Yeah. They're really cute though. So yeah, that's part of the grand prize. Also, we have a Eliso little baby mini iron. Oh, and a wool ironing mat. Wow, that's a great prize. So highly suggest. What do we have to do? We have to post on Instagram. By Monday night.
Yeah. You post a picture of your Alight quilt.
Whatever progress you're at.
Yeah, whatever progress you're at, preferably more than just your fabric is pulled. Something that makes it look like you're obviously sewing a light quilt.
Yes.
And you post that on Instagram and you tag in your photo, like as if you were going into your photo, clicking on a spot and tagging it, Toad Circle and Miha Handmade. And if you want to check to see if you've done it correctly, you can go to the Toad Circle profile, scroll over to the tagged photos, and if yours shows up, then you are entered.
Yes. Okay.
These are the only Alight kits that are left. All the others are sold out. So if you're still in the mood to sew another Alight quilt, if you were inspired by looking at everyone's quilts that we just showed off in the show and tell, here are some kits. Or if you want to like get it and sit on it and surprise yourself in the future, surprise your future self with a quilt kit, because I do that. I buy fabric, stash it away, and then go, I forgot I bought this. So there's also that.
Oh, that's it. So thanks for joining, guys. Thanks, Erin, for being such a wonderful co-host with us.
Thanks for having me. It's been so fun. So
much. We really appreciate you joining all of our calls. That really, adds adds a little extra. So definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm super excited to, like, I think I may compile some pictures from all of the quilts and just like start spamming them on Instagram, because like there's so many good ones and I can't just share one or two in a carousel. So it's like, I feel like there's just so many nice ones to show off.
Yeah.
So we may have a little Alight quilt roundup over the off month while we.
What I actually love is that we're starting to get a lot of finished wildflower falls. And I feel like those ones, like we gotta post those and then wait for some people to like finish, like actually quilt up the Alight and then start sharing those, because that's when you take the beautiful picture in the wild and all that stuff.
Yeah, look at Sheila's in front of the mountains.
I know. I'm going to I know. I was like, I'm already thinking about what quilts in the wild photos. I gotta get back on my quilt in the wild photos game.
Yeah.